Dr. Emmanuel Tangumonkem. I'm a youth pastor, chaplain, and I serve as a youth leader and currently the national youth secretary for Full Gospel Mission Cameroon. And I also work with the chaplaincy ministry. I'm the vice regional chaplaincy coordinator for Northwest One region, the Full Gospel Mission. Really, we are in an information age, and sometimes we're trying to do a comparative study on scripture. And being a community-driven person, I think I stayed glued to my John Maxwell's Leadership Bible, because John Maxwell talks about leadership from a very practical perspective. However, there was something lacking about it, because the gap is that John Maxwell Leadership Bible, which is what I use before I got in contact with BEPA, it's centered only on leadership. The perspectives are leadership. And being a community chaplain, I've been looking at how can we get the Bible into basic tenets, integrate it into the culture of the people. You know, every theologian will tell you, because prior to that, I have one church father who told me, Emmanuel, with all what you've studied up to doctorate degree level and the Bible you preach, no, you need to match what you are doing with Bible language, Hebrew, Greek, and all the like. But I've really never been motivated. My concern is, how would the lay African mother understand about apple when we don't have apple trees in some of our villages? Because in my village, when you talk of apple, we are going to liken it to pear, avocado, because we don't have apple trees. Yeah, so how are you going to get that? So I think when I got in contact with it, just the striking picture of African perspective changed the whole story. I've not come across any Bible that takes into account the African perspective. And for me, it was like the answer to my prayer. I needed something that is practical, far from the Hebrew and the Greek jargons. It is something that is plausible, that you can use to be able to integrate the community, talk to people from their own stories themselves. And that is what BEPA was able to present to me. It's a whole different. You know, prior to this, there was this thought that the Bible was written by Westerners. That's the thought generally, even though it is not true. That was written by Westerners, produced by Westerners. So there must be a certain Western approach that must be used. We have been taught homiletics, hermeneutics in the Bible school. But then, God bless those who came up with the initiative of investigating into our culture. And when you read the book of Nehemiah, and you are able to relate the social structure of what is obtained in the book of Nehemiah with what we do, how people are rallied around community leaders, and how people emerge, especially from systems that, how new leaders emerge, especially from a perspective where people are crying for a change and nobody is going to say anything, how difficult it is for a young person to just rise up and then take things in his hands with the challenges that are there. You see how this Bible integrates and it fits into our culture. This particular Bible from African perspective, it's a laudable initiative. And my wish and desire for the future is that more and more of our pastors and community leaders will be able to lay hands on this Bible. I'm very, very sure and certain in my region, I'm the only one who has a copy of this Bible.